Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting, hopefully, the presence of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, great. If he doesn't, then we will see him at some point. We'll have to figure it out. Um, Guys, tonight, here we go. This is the big night. We got Smackdown live recap. We got AEW Rampage recap, and we also got the preview of Money in the Bank that's going down tomorrow night from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. So let's start out with SmackDown Live as usual. And tonight, guys, they were actually at the home of the Phoenix Suns, the Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. We started out with the promo segment, and it was basically all the guys from the Money in the Bank. We had Riddle, we had Sheamus, we had Sami Zayn, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Omos. Of course, MVP was there, and they were basically spewing out about their desires to win the Money in the Bank, the whole 9 yards. Then it led into a 10-man battle royale, and when it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 14 minutes and 36 seconds was actually Happy Corbin. Happy Corbin won the battle royale. Monster momentum on his side. Of course, as many of you guys know, about a week ago, Pat McAfee laid out a challenge for Happy Corbin for a match at SummerSlam, tentatively right now to be held at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. That could always change. I haven't heard much about tickets and how they're doing right now as it pertains to SummerSlam. They had this vision and this idea of doing 3 stadium shows for the summer: Money in the Bank at Allegiant in Vegas, Nissan Stadium, and then of course the big one at Cardiff, Wales. Right now, they lost out on Allegiant due to poor ticket sales. They were forced to move it to MGM Grand Garden Arena. That's where they're going to be tomorrow night. And then on top of that, we're still waiting to see. We're hoping and praying that if you're a WWE fan, you would love to see it at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. But if tickets don't sell there, if tickets don't go really well there, we might be looking at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, home of the Nashville Predators, Smashville as they like to call it over there. So who knows? We might have it there. We'll wait and see. And there's still a lot of time ahead between now and SummerSlam. So with that said, Anthony Florio, look, I'll say this: cookie cutter promo. It was good to see all the guys on the ladders. That's kind of a staple for Money in the Bank. We all get that. The Battle Royale, though, pleasant surprise, good story, and I really thought that one of the Money in the Bank guys were going to win it, but no. Happy Corbin slips through the back door, stole the match because of the fact that he didn't get eliminated. He went under the rope, never went over the top, and there was a brawl between Sheamus and Drew. They were going at it. The next thing you know, like I said, slipped through the back door, and Happy Corbin, happy days for him. He got himself practically one of the biggest wins of his career by winning this 10-man battle royale. Monster momentum for what could be a date with Pat McAfee at SummerSlam.
And what was the time of that battle royal?
14 minutes and 36 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And I will give this a 3-star rating.
Yeah, because we all know battle royals are always tough to rate, but as far as the promo goes, it was the typical back and forth, and followed by appearances from The Miz, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, and Ezekiel, which led to the battle royale that was made by Adam Pearce. And I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun to kick off what very easily could have been a lame duck go-home show. Unlike some battle royals dominated by meaningless punching and kicking ahead of rapid eliminations, there were stories sprinkled throughout this one, the most obvious being the rivalry between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, throw in Riddle getting a bit of revenge against Seth Rollins, Omos dominating the action, and Sami Zayn's general chicanery, and you have the ingredients for a hellishly fun opener, even if the promo nonsense that led to it was wholly unnecessary and added nothing to the show. And that, and you notice during the Battle Royal, Sami Zayn used The Miz as a shield, sacrificing him to Omos rather than enduring the beating himself. Riddle slid under the bottom rope, staving off elimination and dropping Rollins with an RKO, and Sheamus rocked Riddle with a jumping knee, eliminating him to the dismay of the WWE Universe. And yeah, Corbin getting the win. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's one of the biggest wins of his career. It's really not, because it didn't really, lead to anything overly. It's not going to lead to anything overly big for him. It was just a random battle royal win. That's really all it was. And
random battle royal? Are you serious right now, Florio? Do you see the talent that was in that match?
Well, it was randomly put together. I mean, that's what I meant. I mean, the battle royal was a very good thing, but I'm just saying this was not. It's not Corbin's biggest win. I mean, it's not one of his biggest wins. I mean, yes, he won this battle royal. That's fine and dandy and whatnot. But now you got, and it definitely does give him some momentum going into which we have a feeling will be the likely match with Pat McAfee in the SummerSlam. A match that I think Pat McAfee's going to win, to be honest with you.
I think everybody's pushing for Pat to win that one, especially after how incredible he was at WrestleMania when he fought with Theory. That was actually a passable match. Well done by Theory, because he was able to create a very solid match, to say the very least.
Yeah. But 3 to 3 1/4 for this. I'll call it the sleeper fight of the night because you never know what to expect with battle royals, and I chose my words wrong. What I meant to say was this battle royal randomly was thrown together, and I mean we weren't expecting it, but Corbin got the win here. There you go, MF. A SmackDown guy wins this. It's only fitting because it was the SmackDown show, and big win for him. Even though hasn't really done anything. What has he done for us lately? Not really much of anything. So that's where I was getting at. But other than that little foot in the mouth moment, 3 to 3 1/4 stars for this. Very good battle royal to start things off, and we're going to have another one of these to get into in a little while. So, which was very interesting to say the least, and really not much more to say here. MF, we're going to move on to what ended up being more of an angle than a match, really, and a damn shame too.
Yeah, the one that you're talking about or alluding to, it was supposed to be the Viking Raiders. They were going to go up against the New Day. Yeah, the fight never got off the ground because the Raiders basically used those shields and beat the living daylights out of the New Day. Kofi and Woods were their classic selves, getting themselves over and everything else. But then, Eric and Ivar, they're being acknowledged as the new and vicious Viking Raiders. Well, I'll tell you one thing. New, definitely not. Vicious, abso-freaking-lutely. This
Love
was a side of the Viking Raiders we have not seen yet. And if you want to get them over as heels, why don't you beat the tar out of the most popular tag team in WWE today, the New Day? Well done.
That's great.
Yeah, Florio, yours.
Yeah, let me throw in a thing here. I'll say it like this: the attempt to get the Viking Raiders over with this new edge and attitude is admirable, but we have seen Eric and Ivar push so many times only to see their momentum halted that it's nearly impossible to imagine a scenario where this pays off like those involved would hope. But hey, they're new and they're vicious, so there's that. And I like it. I really do. And MF, you know these guys a lot more than I do because these guys were Ring of Honor products. So you know them very well. They were known as, what were they known as? War Machine? Is that what they were known as?
War Machine. Yep. And they were not known as Eric and Ivar either.
Of course, no.
So, yeah.
Different names, obviously. Did they win their tag team titles? I'm sure they did.
Yes, they did. They were former Ring of Honor World Tag Champs.
As well as former NXT Tag Team Champions and former Raw Tag Team Champions as well. But hey, I'm loving the new direction. I'm hoping it leads to something. And I'll tell you what, if the Street Profits should, by some miracle, somehow, some way, take the undisputed tag team championships off the Usos tomorrow night, hey, that would be a fun ass feud. The Street Profits and the Viking Raiders for those tag team titles. I'm just hope. I mean, I know, you know, of course, the New Day is we all know how ridiculously over the New Day has been for many years, and they're always going to be in that picture. They're always going to be there, and you know they're going to have a say in that eventually. But I'm hoping that the Viking Raiders, with this newfound heel monster badass heel thing they're doing with them, I'm hoping that it's going to lead to something and lead to something big for them. Because these two guys are very good workers. They're great talents, and I would love to see them, you know, get a championship run. So that's just how I feel. And damn shame we never got the match off the ground because this could have been a fun match. It really could have. And it's a fresh rivalry. We've never seen these two go at it. So you know how I've always been preaching about freshness instead of repetitiveness. So
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's it. So let's continue on here.
Yeah, Hanson and Raymond Rowe, those were the members of War Machine, 2-time IWGP World Tag Team Champions.
Oh.
And former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions.
So they were IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, as they call it.
Yes. 2 times. They actually held those belts. So they also had a stint in New Japan. So.
Huh. Something new I'm learning something new every day. So.
Yeah. So.
Just like I did last night when Bullock dropped that little fun fact on me. So, all right.
So that's where you got it. So you're absolutely right about what you were saying. I think the way that they did this is that, yeah, I like the direction that they want to go. They're trying to make them established heels, which is great, because I think a heel turn would do wonders for them, because they are supposed to be monstrous badasses. I think they kind of lost their way for a little while now, but I think now with them turning them this way, I think that they're going to get an opportunity. I hope they get an opportunity. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, they did a really good job with that. Solid segment. Now we got ourselves a 6-woman tag, as it was Lacey Evans, Raquel Gonzalez, and Shotzi. They went up against Liv Morgan, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. The only one that we were missing was Becky Lynch, but Big Time Bex was at the commentary table with Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, and it was Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and Asuka winning the match in 11 minutes and 32 seconds. Anthony, Liv got the winning fall on Shotzi. Liv's got momentum because this was the last time these women are going to go at it before the Money in the Bank contract on the line tomorrow night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena.
And score one for Team Raw too.
Because it was Raw versus SmackDown. Yep.
You had the 3 SmackDown ladies versus the three Raw ladies. Although we had a fourth, but Becky was on commentary, and another one of the fights of the night. You can make an argument for this to be the fight of the night here. This was definitely 3.25 to 3.5 stars. The match featured some solid energy and action throughout, even if some of it probably could have been shored up a bit. And the commentary team really put Liv Morgan over strong, and her win sets her up as a dark horse candidate to emerge from tomorrow night's match with the guaranteed women's title opportunity. And speaking of dark horses, don't count out Shotzi, who benefits not only from increased television time of late, but also from being the woman pinned in the go-home show. WWE has consistently followed 50-50 booking over the years, and if that pattern continues, Shotzi has a very realistic chance to emerge from Money in the Bank as the biggest surprise winner of the entire show, just like we saw last year with Nikki ASH. Long overlooked, it would be a massive boost for someone with incredible potential to be a star for WWE for the foreseeable future. And a shout out to Alexa Bliss, who was great here and is finally getting back to her old self as an in-ring performer. And that's really all there is to say on that. So 3.25, teetering on 3.5. And how about Alexa Bliss? She was mocking the bigger, stronger Rodriguez, showing no fear, despite the very obvious size differential. But there was one thing that concerned me, though. Liv Morgan barely landed a tope suicida that came within inches of being really ugly. It looked like a botch.
Oh, yeah.
That looked like that damn it looked like a botch.
She didn't get the full extension out. It looked like she actually shortcutted she came up a little short on the target. And I would tell you this, if she would have missed it she almost missed this by a couple inches. If she would have came up a couple inches shorter, she would have gone right on the neck. It would have been what they call it would have been a scorpion. She would have scorpioned herself, a la ridiculousness, that logo that they do for the show. She almost did that live in Phoenix tonight, and I mean, God, that would have been bad. I don't think if she would have done that, that's it. She's not making it to Money in the Bank.
We almost had another Big E situation.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and the segue from Shotzi standing tall right into Liv Morgan, obliterating her for the win, made for a fun finish. And I'm going to tell you what, when we do our predictions in a little bit, I'm definitely going to have a hard time with it. I know you're going to have an easy time with it because you already went on the record as to who you think is going to win.
But now I'm starting to think differently because of what happened tonight. And especially after the match was over, Becky jumped Asuka for no reason.
This is true.
I mean, you talk about 50-50 booking. You talk about Shotzi and, the Shotzi and Liv thing. Could Becky might have opened the door for Asuka now to get Money in the Bank because of her actions? Or would that also interpret where Asuka could cost Becky the Money in the Bank tomorrow night? it might have just opened the door for a whole bunch of women to jump in on this one. Where going in, yeah, I had Becky winning it all. Now after what happened tonight, I'm like, ugh. Now I might have to start rethinking a little bit. So I don't know.
We're definitely gonna have a time with it. I mean, we're gonna have a time with that, and we're gonna have a time with the men's too. So we're definitely gonna have to do some. We don't have much time to do. We've had a lot of time to think, but the day is here, and we got to figure out how we're gonna, who we're gonna go with. But for right now, 3.25 to 3.5 for this. Another one of the top fights of the night for sure. And hey, Raw guy, I'm very happy. I mean, when Raw beats SmackDown, it's one thing, but for Raw to beat SmackDown on SmackDown itself, oh, you're not going to hear the end of that, MF. You're not.
Yes.
So I got every right to throw in my Jesse on that. So I earned that one. So, and give it up for Liv, Alexa, and Asuka. Way to represent Team Red, my dears. Way to represent Team Red. Very proud of you. Hopefully we can keep that momentum going into tomorrow. So
yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is
3.25, 3.5 for me. So MF, your thoughts on what I thought was a very entertaining 6-woman tag.
It was. There was some sloppy moments though. I mean, not everything was perfect. There was good cohesion, but there was some moments where it kind of was like, ooh. And like we said, the Liv Morgan tope, where she almost ended up breaking her neck on that, and that could have gone all kinds of wrong. And she's very lucky that she did not injure herself here tonight. That would have been a horrific moment for Liv, that close to Money in the Bank, and she almost took herself out of Money in the Bank. Like, that's how bad it was. So, yeah, no doubt about it. Hopefully we'll see. It was a good match. I like it. It was about 3. I'm not gonna give it 3.25, 3.5. I don't think it was that. I don't think it deserves that kind of rating. But I'll give it 3. We're off to the main event, which was a fatal 4-way. Okay, so what happened was Kevin Owens, I believe there was one spot left. So we had Happy Corbin, The Miz, Ezekiel, and Madcap Moss. So if you think about it, that is 2 Raw guys, 2 SmackDown guys. I believe Ezekiel and The Miz representing Monday Night Raw, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss representing SmackDown Live. So this time around, the winner of this match gets the final spot in the Money in the Bank matchup for the men. The winner in 10 minutes and 33 seconds, and the final participant in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match is Madcap Moss. SmackDown wins. They get the win back from earlier in the evening from the previous match where the Raw women won. SmackDown gets the win back on Raw. Madcap gets the golden ticket. He's gonna be in the Money in the Bank tomorrow night at the MGM Grand, and has a, I could say, a dark horse chance of winning it. I don't think he will, but you got to consider him a dark horse because of the momentum he's been having lately. Solid main event. I'd say about maybe 2 3/4 to 3. It was solid. It was good for what it was worth. I liked how everybody was wrestling, trying to get to that spot. But at the end of the night, if there was one guy that I thought it was going to be, honestly, I thought it was either going to be Corbin or it was going to be The Miz. I thought one of the two was going to get that. I did not think Madcap was going to win it all. And it's a pleasant surprise. I was very happy to see it. You know what? I got to say it. Madcap's turned around for me. Like, for a while, Madcap was just a joke. There was nothing legitimate about him. he wasn't anything relevant because he was just a stooge for Happy Corbin and that stupid gimmick. Ever since he got away from Happy Corbin, Mad Cat has turned it around. Yeah, he's a little corny in certain areas, but finally, they're actually utilizing him in the right way. And all of a sudden, he gets an opportunity to compete with the big boys tomorrow night in Vegas with the Money in the Bank. And you never know how that plays out. We've had clear-cut favorites win it all. And then there's been a couple of times where guys who has probably no business winning Money in the Bank has gone on to win it. Could we have one of those moments tomorrow night? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. Anthony Floyo, it's yours, and then we'll get Michael Bullock in to
catch him up.
Catch him up.
Yes, that's right. Another 3 to 3.25 stars for this. The match was nonstop action thanks to rapidly decreasing television time, and the right guy probably went over. The Miz and Happy Corbin had both been in the match before and are essentially bulletproof at this point in their careers. Ezekiel, while over, does not feel like a good fit for that particular spot. Moss, on the other hand, has seen his momentum skyrocket since his babyface turn post-WrestleMania and will now have the opportunity to compete in his biggest match to date. And it is refreshing to see WWE get behind a guy like Madcap Moss, who got a silly gimmick over and is now reaping the rewards on his own. And and then in a bit of poetic justice, Pat McAfee taunted a defeated Corbin to close the show, proving just how quickly the tides can turn in the WWE. So a good 3 to 3.25 stars for this. And out of the 4, Madcap was the most deserving because Miz and Corbin, it's already been done to death with them. They've already been in it. And Ezekiel, I'm not really feeling him, to be honest with you. So they definitely got this one right. One of the rare times they did something right, they definitely did it right here. So is he going to win? Very likely not. But then again, MF has gone on the record, surprise winners. I mean, we could see it. I mean, look at Swagger, Jake Hager, WrestleMania 26. None of us expected him to win that, but he did. And there've been some other surprises. I mean, 2015, we were all thinking Roman was going to win, but they ended up giving it to Sheamus. And we could go on down the road, men and women, but for right now, like I said, 3.25 stars for this. Right guy won, so there isn't much more to say. MF, let's get Michael Bullock caught up. Phenom, we're gonna get you caught up on this Go Home the Money in the Bank edition of Smackdown. MF, it's all yours.
Well, first off, good evening, gentlemen.
All right, Mike. Hello.
Yep, we're here.
Yeah.
All right, so let me see if I can get it. Hang on 1 second. All right, here we go. So we started it off with the Battle Royale. The 10-man Battle Royale. Happy Corbin won it all, and he won it in 14 minutes and 36 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, well, what did you guys give this Battle Royal?
We said about 3.5.
Yeah, because like you said, these things are tough to rate. I mean, with these Battle Royals, but I think 3.5 is the correct rating on it.
All right, then we had Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, and Asuka defeating Raquel Rodriguez, Lacey Evans, and Shotzi in 11:32.
Another 3-star match. I mean, the interesting thing about this, guys. I mean, we knew that team of Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Liv Morgan were going to get along, but on the other side, yeah, you had Lacey Evans and Raquel Rodriguez, but obviously the wild card on that team was Shotzi, because Shotzi has been very critical of Raquel Rodriguez, and as soon as I heard this match, I'm like, how in the world are they going to get along? Because Shotzi can't be trusted around anybody, but obviously that's what happened here, and but yeah, even though the team won, the big story out of this was big time Bex basically stood tall over everyone because she basically laid out the winning team, and
no, she just jumped Asuka. She didn't go after she. Yeah, no, she laid out Asuka and then ran away before Liv and Alexa could even get their hands on her. She ducked out.
And the thing is, Fletch, I mean, if that is the case and the way Booking 101 goes, maybe Big Time Bex doesn't win this one. I mean, we'll have to wait and see come tomorrow night. But 3 stars is my rating on it, so yeah, nothing left to say.
Yeah, because the one thing, I know you weren't here, but Floria and myself got into this conversation, and then that was the fact that Anthony now believes that, obviously Liv got the momentum and everything else, but he now sees that Shotzi might have a shot because of her getting pinned in that situation. Just as much as I believe now, even though going into this I had Becky winning it all, now I'm starting to backtrack it because of the fact that she took out Asuka. She might have opened the door for Asuka to win it all now. So there's about 4 women right now that, off the top of our heads, between Liv, Shotzi, Becky, and Asuka, but you cannot discount Raquel. You cannot discount Alexa. So, I mean, I think this has become the most wide open Money in the Bank match in, since we've had the women's Money in the Bank match. So I mean, anybody can win it this time around. It's wide open.
Exactly.
So, and then we just talked about it. Madcap Moss qualifies for the Money in the Bank in 10 minutes and 33 seconds, knocking off Ezekiel, Happy Corbin, and the Miz. So Bullock is yours.
Yeah. What was the time again?
10:33.
Yeah. I'll give this about another 2.5 to 3 for the effort here. I mean, and like you said, as I was coming in, and I'm actually sold on Madcap Moss now, because originally when they had him in that stupid gimmick along with Happy Corbin, he was at the point of go away. But ever since post WrestleMania, I kind of like what they're doing with Madcap Moss now. So could he win this? Probably not, but like you said, we've seen crazier things happen before in the Money in the Bank. So, I mean, I'm not going to rule it out, but we'll wait and see. So, that's all I got to say on it.
All right, and now we come to the point of the overall review. Anthony Florio, front and center, you lead off.
I'll tell you what, solid show tonight. I know it's not going to be for everybody. We always say, you can't please everybody, but I'm going to give this a solid 7 out of 10 because we had 3 good matches. That opening battle royal, that 6-woman tag, and then this 4-way to determine the final spot on the men's Money in the Bank qualifying match. Those 3 matches were good. And I'm actually even going to give a little love to that segment with the Usos and the Street Profits. I know it wasn't for everybody, but the thing was, when it came to that segment, to be honest with you, the promo work was great. And the Usos and the Street Profits come across as so incredibly natural that it's a wonder WWE officials have not recognized how much more appealing their mic work is to the audience than the overproduced, overscripted nonsense we see elsewhere. And their match tomorrow night is going to be extraordinary and could very well challenge the Money in the Bank ladder matches for the Fight of the Night honors. And while it's likely the Usos will win, it's only a matter of time before the Profits become the centerpiece of that division, or maybe go their separate ways and enjoy singles success. We'll have to wait and see on that. But 7, at least 7, teetering on 7.5, and nice go home show, solid go home show for Money in the Bank, and that's really all there is to say on that. So at least 7, teetering on 7.5. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, solid go home show for Money in the Bank for Friday Night SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, like you said, this was a solid show. I mean, a good way to build towards the tomorrow night's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I mean, could some things have been better? Absolutely, but with everything we saw tonight, I thought it was a good enough show that was enjoyable. So 7 out of 10. Fletch, take it home, and then we're gonna go into to Rampage.
Yeah, 7. I'll give it 7. I thought it was a solid show. Nothing really more to say. You guys basically made your points here, so we're gonna start it off, guys. And here we go. So it is AEW Rampage. They started out with the 2-ring, 20-man Royal Rampage. The winner gets a shot at the interim AEW World Title, and the winner of that Royal Rampage is Brody King. Brody King wins the match in 22 minutes and 46 seconds. Wow. This was crazy how this turned out. They try to play this like a Royal Rumble type of match. It kind of was like a little bit Royal Rumble, a little bit World War III, but with 2 rings, not 3. 20 men instead of I think it was 60 that they did for the World War III.
That is correct.
Back in the day from WCW. So
yes, sir.
Obviously they still were using the elements from the Blood and Guts minus the steel, that massive cage that they had. And it was still a good match. The eliminations were flying. Like at one point, it was almost impossible to keep up with the eliminations because it was like almost every 5 or 10 seconds somebody was going out of the ring. When you start doing that and start causing that kind of chaos, it's like, okay, it's good in one way, but damn, I mean, give us a minute to breathe. And because once you start doing that, you kind of lose my interest. And I'm going to say that. You will absolutely lose my interest if you're pulling that many eliminations that fast. You got to be more fluent, more everything needs to be a lot more sharper. I hate to say this. I thought WWE did actually a decent job with their Battle Royale more than AEW's. Even though I thought AEW's was better overall, like product, the win, and who won it. Brody King, did anybody have him in their pool? Absolutely not. Does anybody believe that Brody King is a contender? Absolutely not. But he gets the opportunity. He gets to fight Jon Moxley. That's freaking awesome. And I'm happy for Brody because this guy deserves an opportunity. If you've seen his body of work in Ring of Honor, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This was a great match. This is a 3.5-star fight. You can even make an argument for 4 because that's how good it was. But like I said, I'm just nitpicking more than anything else. So, Florio, it's yours.
You said we can make an argument for 4. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give it 4, and it's for one reason: the surprise winner. I mean, like MF said, nobody, and I mean nobody, whatsoever in their right minds, none of us had Brody King winning this match. If I'm going to be real honest with you, I had the Hangman. I had Hangman Adam Page winning this match with Darby Allin a very close second, especially when it came down to him and Brody at the end. I'm like, well, if it's not going to be Hangman, I think it's going to be Darby. Darby and Moxley, that would have been a banger of a match. Let's not kid ourselves. That would have been a match of the year contender anywhere. But no, they gave it to Brody King and a surprise winner. And oh, by the way, gentlemen, that match will go down this Wednesday night on Dynamite. The biggest match of Brody King's career when he challenges Jon Moxley for the interim AEW World Heavyweight Championship. That'll be Wednesday night on Dynamite in Rochester, New York. So we'll get into that on Madness. But for right now, we saw plenty of multi-man spots, logical eliminations, and short-term alliances. Brody King ended up being the winner after he held Darby Allin up in a choke until he passed out and fell to the ground. Fun, energetic way to open the show. The name of the match could use a little work, but everything else went well. And multi-ring setups are fun, but they need to be used sparingly. A lot of arenas might not accommodate a setup like this well. The Butcher is in better shape every time we see him. And this was Rush's first official match in AEW. And it was kind of an odd place for him to debut, but he made sure to have a big impact as soon as he hit the ring. Andrade's protege there, Rush, from Ring of Honor, who they said was a former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. And I know MF could verify that. So, but hey, solid 4 stars, fun battle royal, and one of the main reasons why I'm giving it the 4 stars, I'm pulling a Michael Bullock here because this is something Bullock usually does. It's because of the unpredictability factor. Brody King, nobody had him winning, but yet he did. So, biggest win for Brody King probably since his Ring of Honor days, and now he's got an opportunity to bring the AEW Interim World Heavyweight Championship to the House of Black. He's got the opportunity, but to be honest, let's be realistic, he's not going to do it because it's Moxley's first defense. You really think they're going to have Moxley drop the belt this soon? No. So I'm sure Brody's going to give him a hell of a fight, though. But at the end of the night, let's be realistic. Jon Moxley is going to successfully defend that title on Wednesday night. So not much more to say. 4 stars for this fight of the night. And Michael Bullock, AEW's attempt at the Royal Rumble, if you will, came out very well. And a surprise winner, Brody King. Wow. When you had Hangman, Darby Allin, and so many other top names in there, Brody King wins this thing? Awesome.
And like you said, this was unpredictability, which is what we want to see. I mean, unlike with WWE, what do we always get, Florio?
Predictability and repetitiveness.
Yeah, and that's what we like. And unpredictability, I mean, it makes something like this even better. And I agree with you. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I mean, nobody had Brody King winning this one. I mean, you could have had Hangman Page, you could have had Darby Allin, I mean, somebody else, but nobody had Brody King winning this one. But, man, I mean, now he's got the big opportunity to be the AEW Interim World Champion, but let's be real honest, Jon Moxley is going to win this one. But Brody King, I mean, he'll definitely put up one hell of a fight, but in the end, it'll be Jon Moxley who walks out still the champ. So it's yours, Fletch.
Then we had ourselves a battle between New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW. The AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, going up against Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto. And when it was all said and done, the Young Bucks wins the match in 10 minutes and 37 seconds, as it was the Meltzer driver on Yoshihashi to end it. Anthony Florio, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, took down 2 members of Chaos. That's actually Karushika Okada's team. They just took out here tonight.
Oh wow. Yeah, the Bucks seemed to control the majority of the action, but Goto and Yoshihashi were able to get in plenty of their own offense along the way. This match was never really designed to make the New Japan stars into the next top contenders. It was done to put the Bucks over, and Goto and Yoshihashi did their job well. The Bucks won with the Meltzer driver, but the final minutes were definitely the most competitive of the match. I'm going to give this 3.25, teetering on 3.5. I think 3.25 is the better rating for this, but it's definitely one of the fights of the night here, no doubt about that. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, definitely back to reality here. Here we got the predictable outcome. We knew the Bucks were going to go over, and they got the win here over Goto and Yoshihashi, and it definitely starts to. I'm definitely starting to think, after what we talked about last night, about how I believe it's going to be setting up a Young Bucks FTR showdown, maybe at the All Out event in September.
Yeah, I could see that definitely going down, like we talked about. And man, I mean, if they challenge the Young Bucks and FTR wins it, you're gonna have to find something to hold all those belts that FTR has, because right now they have the AAA, Ring of Honor, and now the IWGP World Tag Team titles. I mean, you could say it right now, and you know what? I'll even say it, and I don't care what anybody says. FTR is the best tag team in professional wrestling right now. I mean, when you're holding 3 titles like that, that makes you the best tag team out there. And I dare anybody to debate me on that. I mean, I know people are going to say, "Oh, the Usos are the best tag team out there." I mean, look, they're in the conversation, but right now, FTR is the best tag team in the world right now, as far as I'm concerned.
I will give you FTR. I definitely do. However,
all right. Well, first off, 3.25 is my rating as well. So now I give it to you, Fletch.
All right. I'll say this. You're absolutely correct. There's no debate. FTR is the number 1 tag team in the world. You can say that the Usos are there. It's a 1A, 1B situation. However, you got to watch out for the Bucks. And I hate to say it. They were IWGP World Tag Team Champions. They've been that many times. They've been Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. They've held that before. They actually did hold the AAA World Tag Team titles at one time. They've had those belts as well. And now they're the AEW World Tag Team Champions. So I will say this. Whoever wins that battle will cement themselves as the best tag team in the world today. The thing is the Bucks have already done it, Mike. They've already had all those belts in the past. So that's why I'm very cautious on saying that. And remember, the last time the Bucks and FTR went at it, the Bucks won. Remember? That was, I believe, at the Daily's place in Jacksonville, Florida.
Full Gear 2020.
Full Gear 2020. And the Bucks won it all. They won that battle. Now, FTR right now has had the biggest hot streak ever, and they've been winning belts left and right. So yes, right now they are the best tag team in the world. But if they lose that fight to the Bucks, the pendulum swings, and the Bucks will be on top. And that's the scary thing. I don't want to see it happen. I want to see FTR finally prove to the world that they are the best tag team wrestling squad in wrestling. And they are well on their way. If they beat the Bucks and capture the AEW titles, they cement it that they will be the tag team of the year for 2022. This right now, it's right now neck and neck between FTR and the Usos for tag team of the year. Right now, FTR's got it. FTR has the lead. And right now, and I think we can all agree with this, if this continues in December at the end of the year, FTR would be my tag team of the year. No questions. FTR would capture the tag team of the year despite the Usos unifying the WWE tag team titles. FTR's got 3 belts to the Usos 2. What else can you do on that? All right. I believe it's overall review time, so I believe
we got one match left, the women's match.
Oh, that's right. Nyla Rose versus Toni Storm. Toni Storm won the match in 9 minutes and 48 seconds. So who leads off? I believe it goes to Bullock. So Michael Bullock, front and center. It's yours.
2.5. Another 2.5 to 3 for me. I mean, to me, Toni Storm needed a bounce back win after losing in the AEW Women's World Title match against Thunder Rosa. So this definitely gets her back on track. I mean, what happens next for Toni Storm? Who knows? So 2.5 to 3 for me. Fletch, it's yours. I mean, a nice bounce back win for Toni Storm.
Yeah, 2.5 is for me a bounce back, nice bounce back win for her as well. Maybe. Well, obviously it looks like they're setting up for a tag team. It looks like it's going to be Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. They're going to be going up against, I guess they're now calling them the Thunderstorm. Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. So we got that possibly going down. But at the end of the day, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But I thought it was a fine main event. So nothing more to say. And Anthony, it is yours.
Solid 3 stars. The match was not perfect and had a couple of missteps, but overall it was a good, entertaining main event. The pairing of Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir is interesting. If AEW ever develops a women's tag team division, they would be a good duo for that. And this might be one of the first times when the turnbuckle pad being ripped off actually looked like an accident, because it did. You noticed the turnbuckle came off near the tail end of that match. So, but a solid 3 stars for this. So, yeah, definitely looking like Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm against Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. Maybe as early as Wednesday's Dynamite. You never know. But we'll have to wait and see. Or maybe on a future Rampage. I don't know. We'll see. But 3 stars, and let's get to the overall review, which MF starts off on.
All right. This was a good show. I thought it was a solid show. Wasn't really high on the main event. I thought they did all right. I think they did very well for the most part. But at the end of the day, I really believe that they could have. I don't think there was anything bad, honestly. I could give this about 8.5. That's my more than anything else. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
I'm leaning more towards 7.5 to 8 for me. Because all the matches were solid to good to great. That Royal Rampage, I really enjoyed that. I mean, it definitely did bring back, it definitely did conjure up some memories of the World War III MF, like you mentioned earlier. There were WCW did 4 of those matches from 95 to 98. The first 2 especially, 95 and 96, both of those were fun as hell. The other 2, maybe not so much. But the first two, when the title was on the line, and then they gave the title shot to the winner in 95 and 96. Those are the two you got to go out of your way to see, especially 95, because that was the one that I had the most fun watching. And I always have fun watching that back. But as far as this is concerned, that was a fun match. That was the fight of the night. Young Bucks and Goto and Yashi were good. A solid match there. The women's match was fine. A solid, not overly spectacular. And that's really all I can say. 7.5 to 8 for me. Bullock, take this home, and then we'll get into our main event, which is our preview of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 for me. I mean, I thought this was a good edition of Rampage. So, yeah, nothing more to say. It's time to get to our preview of Money in the Bank.
All right, and we're going to start it off with Austin Theory. Well, Theory going one-on-one with Bobby Lashley for the United States Heavyweight Championship. All right. Going into this, I did not like the build. I did not like the story. I did not like how it was playing out. And I had very, very, very concerned doubts about this match. Theory has held the belt for a little bit. Maybe this is their way of trying to get Lashley a title, knowing that, even though I think the U.S. title is somewhat beneath him, I don't know. I think this could be a screwy finish, too. So I think Theory is going to keep the belt, and I think they're going to continue this. I think we might be on the verge of a rematch at SummerSlam more than anything else. So for me, winner, still United States champion, Theory. Anthony, it's yours.
MF, I respectfully disagree with you on this one. I think Bobby Lashley's going to win the title, and here's the reasoning why. Yes, this is actually something of a tough call. Theory seems set to go into a SummerSlam program with John Cena, but that's a program that does not need the United States Heavyweight Championship involved at all. On the other hand, Bobby Lashley has been elevated past secondary title status, and winning the U.S. title would feel like a step in the wrong direction. However, given that I think John Cena should win if he and Theory face off at SummerSlam, you have to move the title off of Theory. Of course, that would mean Theory taking 2 losses in a row on big shows, and that doesn't feel right either. It is a tough choice, but Lashley winning, I believe, is the right play. So the winner and new United States Heavyweight Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. So not much more to say about this. Bullock, do you agree with me and Lashley, or do you agree with MF and Theory?
I'm going with you, Florio. I got to go with Bobby Lashley to become the United States champion. And like you said, I mean, the reason why is obviously because they're obviously building towards a John Cena and Theory match at SummerSlam. And that's a match that, to me, doesn't really need the United States championship. I mean, yeah, so, and who knows? And I know this is a long shot. Maybe John Cena comes out and distracts Theory, and you could start the build towards the match at SummerSlam. So we'll wait and see. But either way, I got Bobby Lashley winning this one. So it's yours, Fletch.
I gotta disagree with you guys, and here's the reason why. And because I heard about the rumor about Theory and Cena, but there was another one I heard, and this was all over social media, and that's about there's one belt Cena has yet to capture in his illustrious career, and that's the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And there was even talk about maybe Cena going after Gunther. Cena and Gunther one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship.
Whoa.
That's a be a man fight.
And that's why I think you guys, even though the theory thing is definitely there, but I need to throw that out because it was all over social media like the last few days. They were talking about maybe Cena and Gunther, and they're gonna do, and it might be a 2-fight series because you're gonna have Cena versus Gunther at SummerSlam, where Cena wins, and that will cement Cena's place because he will become a Grand Slam champion. But remember, there's also that battle at the castle in Cardiff, Wales. That's almost in the backyard of Gunther. And at that time, I think that's where the Ring General regains the Intercontinental Championship from John Cena. So just throwing it out there. That's why I think you guys could be wrong. Even though you could be right. And if you guys are right, you're right. I'm not gonna, I'm not completely poo-pooing this, but there is another possible path. And I just want you guys to think about it more than anything else. All right. So, with that said, next up, we got is the match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships, the Usos versus the Street Profits. Anthony, it's yours.
The Usos and Roman Reigns are still absolutely dominant. It's hard to see that ending in what feels like a quote-unquote feud of the month against the Street Profits. The Usos' success is so closely tied to what Roman Reigns is doing, and a loss for them damages his positioning as the dominant personality in WWE. With that in mind, it should be another night of success for the Usos, who won the Smackdown Tag Team Championships from the Usos at this very event 1 year ago. Even though it's taking place 2 weeks earlier than it did a year ago, but still, this other than the Money in the Bank ladder matches, this is the match that could give the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches a run for its money for Fight of the Night honors. And this is going to be a banger. This has show stealer potential all over it. So there isn't much more to say here. Usos will the Street Profits will most assuredly give the Usos one hell of a try and then some. But at the end, I think the Usos are going to find a way. So winners and still undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, do we have the Usos' dominance continuing? Or do you think the Street Profits might put the first bit of a dent in the bloodline?
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. I gotta go with the Usos to hold on to those undisputed WWE Tag Team titles because, like you said, they're on a roll right now, and it doesn't make sense to take the titles off of them. So I think the reign of the bloodline continues here. So Usos win. It's yours, Fletch.
I agree. Usos win. I think they're going to successfully defend the titles. There's really nothing more to say there. We're just going to move right on along. Next up we have is Ronda Rousey versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's title. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, some say with this rivalry, I mean, it's been there at times, but I mean, it'll be a good match. But come on, guys. I mean, do you really think Natalya is going to win this one? I just don't see that happening. So to me, winner and still the SmackDown Women's Champion, the rowdy one, Ronda Rousey. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, it's Ronda. I don't think there's really much debate on this one. So Ronda Rousey should successfully defend the title. The one thing that I would like to keep my eye on is who's the one that wins the Money in the Bank. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but I think Ronda wins and successfully defends the title. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, one of the few easy calls here. Natalya has already beat Ronda Rousey convincingly in their battle of promos and social media posts, drilling Rousey on basically every embarrassing part of her career or personality. In the ring will be a different story. WWE is not even slightly considering Natalya as the one to take the title off of Ronda Rousey, who they still view as a top star, even if this recent run has fallen flat with the fans. This has been a nice little run to inject some life into Natalya's already legendary career, but it does not end with the title. So I agree. Make it unanimous. Winner and still the SmackDown Women's Champion, the rowdy one, Ronda Rousey. And Matt, let's move on to the next match.
From the SmackDown Women's title to the Raw Women's title, Bianca Belair putting the title on the line against Carmella. This is easy for me. It's the EST of WWE. It is Bianca Belair. Right now, I just don't see Carmella winning this. This is kind of one of those, Anthony, you talked about it, the flavor of the month, just the opponent of the month. Carmella was it. She's going to get her opportunity. I don't think there's going to be much of an outcome here. It's going to be I think they're going to do a decent match, but don't expect much out of this. EST should win this one, and then it's basically have the eyes in the back of her head for whoever the Miss Money in the Bank is, because whoever's the Money in the Bank holder, that's where I start to get a little. That's where it starts to get a little interesting. But Anthony, it's yours.
Agreed on that. Now, originally, it was supposed to be Rhea Ripley challenging Bianca Belair, but Rhea Ripley suffered an injury that messed up messed up her teeth and her brain a little bit, and but I hear she's doing better, and I'll get into my little theory about this in just a little bit. But Bianca Belair had a full circle moment at WrestleMania, defeating Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship after the man embarrassed her with a short one-sided victory at last year's SummerSlam. No disrespect to Carmella whatsoever, but she is not the person to dethrone Belair. The EST of WWE should expect a long, healthy reign and only lose the title when the outcome has serious meaning. Belair and Ronda Rousey retaining their respective women's championships are the surest things at Money in the Bank. And as far as my little theory goes, I got a feeling that Rhea Ripley's going to be cleared in time for SummerSlam. And I think that's when we're going to get Belair and Ripley at SummerSlam. And I think that I got a feeling that Ripley could walk out with it. And that would be a great way to get the Judgment Day over. So give them some gold. So, but I could be wrong. We'll see. But that's just my little theory on it. So we'll see if I'm right. If I am, great. If not, whatevs. So winner and still the Raw Women's Champion, the EST, Bianca Belair. It's not even going to be close. So not much more to say. Bullock, I know we're going to make this unanimous.
Yeah, I'm going to make this unanimous. Bianca Belair wins and retains the Raw Women's title. So it's your Sledge.
All right. Buckle up, boys. It's time. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The participants are Lacey Evans, Alexa Bliss, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Shotzi Blackheart, and Big Time Bex, Becky Lynch. This goes to Anthony Florio. Tony, who do you got grabbing the contract and becoming Miss Money in the Bank?
Very tough to call. There is no question about it. But there is one I can most certainly rule out, and that's Shotzi. I don't think it's going to be Shotzi's time yet. Raquel Rodriguez is too new. I think it's not quite her time yet. So that leaves the other five. It feels like Liv Morgan's time, but frankly, it always feels like Liv Morgan's time. Morgan has a dedicated fan base and has improved noticeably over the years. Fans would certainly get behind her Money in the Bank victory and chase for a world title. WWE seems non-committal on Alexa Bliss. Raquel Rodriguez has been presented well since debuting on SmackDown this year and doesn't need the briefcase quite yet. Asuka and Becky Lynch were just in the title picture. Shotzi has zero momentum. The only other option that stands out is Lacey Evans, whose real-life upbringing has been woven into her face turn. The only hesitation with Evans was her brief character change on Raw that WWE quickly walked back on. I'm going to take a big chance here, and I'm going to say Liv Morgan all the way. So the winner of this women's Money in the Bank ladder match and the next Miss Money in the Bank, I'm going to go for it. Liv Morgan. So out of all these gals, I think she's the most deserving, if I'm going to be honest with you. Alexa's already won it, and that's really all there is to say on that. So Miss Money in the Bank 2022, Liv Morgan. Michael Bullock, who you got?
Yeah, like you said, this is a tough call here. I mean, like you said, Shotzi, I think I can rule her out. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez, I can rule her out. Asuka and Alexa Bliss are two others that I can rule out as well, because both of them have won it before. So to me, it comes down to either Big Time Bex or Liv Morgan. So I'm going to take a chance and agree with Anthony Florio, and I'm going to go with Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan wins and becomes Miss Money in the Bank. So it's yours, Fletch.
This is, like I said, going into this, I had Becky Lynch. I'm not gonna back. I was saying that I'm a little concerned now, especially after what happened tonight. But I feel like WWE's gonna go with Becky Lynch. I think what it is that, look, you can absolutely open the door for Becky Lynch, and you can see two possible great title matches. One being Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Even though we've seen it a couple of times, it would be great to see that one more time. Or the other one, and what I've been told that could be a main event match at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. The world's been waiting for this fight. We had a little taste of it in 35. But they kind of wanted it to add Charlotte Flair, where it didn't need Charlotte. Now is the moment that we can finally have that one-on-one that we've been waiting for. It's almost been about, I want to say, 3 or 4 years in the making for this match. So, yes, the sexy pick is Liv Morgan. Everybody's going to say Liv deserves the moment. But honestly, think about this. Whenever you win the Money in the Bank, almost 80 to 85% of the time, that briefcase winner or the contract winner has gone on to win the title.
100% on the women's side.
100% on the women's side. Yes, Anthony, you made it. Yes, you're correct. In order for that record to stay at 100%, honestly, Becky Lynch must win this Money in the Bank. Because I'm sorry, if Liv gets the briefcase or gets the contract, I legitimately will say this, and I know I'm going to offend a few people, but I don't care. If Liv gets the briefcase, I got a horrible feeling she will fail.
Kind of like when you and I saw Baron Corbin fail in his Money in the Bank cash-in attempt.
Yes. I think it will happen. I think that will happen if Liv gets it. Because I don't think WWE sees her as a champion. I'm sorry. You want me to be blunt? Let me be blunt. Liv Morgan, in the eyes of WWE brass, is not a champion. You can doubt me on that. You can say whatever you want to say about that. I don't give a damn. Now, you know how they feel about Becky Lynch. And you know if Becky gets it, you know the possibilities. You know what the possibilities would be. Becky Lynch could go right after Bianca and we could have another one of those battles. Or she rolls the dice and goes after Ronda Rousey. And do you know how many fans would love to see Ronda versus Becky one more time? But in a pure one-on-one match? Come on. So, at the end of the day, I'm going with Becky Lynch. I think that's going to be the one who's going to win it all. All right? So, now to the men. We got Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Omos, Sami Zayn, Riddle, and by virtue of his win here earlier tonight, Madcap Moss gets the final spot. Michael Bullock, front and center, my friend. Who do you got to be Mr. Money in the Bank?
Oh, this is I don't think it's going to be Sami Zayn. I don't think it's going to be Madcap Moss. I mean, there are some other good options. I mean, I don't think it should be Seth Rollins either because Seth Rollins has already won it. So, it's a tough call for me, but man, I don't know what to say. I mean, there is no easy choice when it comes to this. I'm going to take a chance here, and look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm actually going to go with Drew McIntyre to win this one. I mean, I think Drew McIntyre will win this one. I mean, part of me wants to see Riddle win it so that way he gets another opportunity at the Tribal Chief. But somehow I got this funny feeling. I got to go with Drew McIntyre. I mean, that's what I'm going to go with. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So, Pledge, it's yours. And yeah, I got a feeling that there's going to be some disagreements on this one.
I'm with you with Drew. No doubt about it. I think Drew would be is the perfect guy that can get it. I would love to see Drew get it. And the thing is, in the back of my mind, is, like you said, Drew would be the perfect guy to fight for the title. I think it can go a number of ways. Obviously, they want Drew to have the championship going into Cardiff. Either he's got the briefcase and cashes it in and wins the title, or he's got the briefcase, waits until the outcome of the big fight between Brock versus Roman at SummerSlam, and that match is last man standing. Wait there and win the title that way. Now, Riddle would be my second choice. he definitely is the second choice because of everything that he has done, prior to, building himself up, the whole 9 yards. Yes, there was the heartbreak moment that if Riddle wins the match, that if Riddle lost to Roman, he cannot challenge for the title again. But if you get that Money in the Bank briefcase, that negates that rule. Because then at that point, you are guaranteed one more shot at the championship. So he would have one more chance at Roman if that's the case. But there was a third option. And this got actually leaked out by a guy on YouTube. Well, not YouTube, on TikTok. He cut it a video, and I thought about it, and I'm like, this would be genius if this actually happens. Just hear me out on this. Remember a few years ago, Seth Rollins won the Money in the Bank. He actually waited for WrestleMania 31 at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara and pulled the heist of the century. Who were the two guys that were in that match when he pulled the heist? Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Think about this. Roman and Brock are fighting for the Universal title, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Seth Rollins has got the Money in the Bank. Is the flashbulbs is the bulb hitting you now? We have a chance at Heist of the Century 2. Right before our very eyes at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. It's very possible for this. Now, if that happens, not only does that open the door for Rollins, but that also opens the door for possibly Cody Rhodes. And Cody could actually benefit from that. Because there's going to be one more fight between these two men. Depending on how long Cody's out, they could hold this off. Rollins could be champion, and then maybe Cody comes back, and then they'll let these two go at it for that title. You never know. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre to win it. My second option is Riddle. My dark horse is Seth freaking Rollins. Anthony, it is yours.
While there are plenty of good choices here, MF, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins would both make solid briefcase holders. It feels like they blew it with Riddle's program of Roman Reigns. The crowd was on fire for Riddle to knock off Reigns, and it certainly now is a match that could carry a pay-per-view, in addition to the long-term drama of Reigns knowing Riddle is biding his time and waiting for the right moment to cash in. McIntyre, I believe, is likely getting his shot at Clash at the Castle. And Rollins can always be slotted into any spot at any time. Riddle, meanwhile, only has one path to getting even with Reigns, and that's winning Money in the Bank. I'm going to take another chance here, and I'm actually going to go with the original bro. I'm going to say Riddle actually pulls this thing out, and because if you win that Money in the Bank, you're guaranteed another shot, and that would overrule the edict of not being able to challenge Roman as long as he's the title holder. So, but even if he does go after Roman, I still have a feeling that he could be set up for a failure. So, I don't know. We'll see. But as I've been saying all along, if anybody's going to ultimately dethrone the tribal chief, it's got to be Drew. And it's got to be a Clash at the Castle. It's got to be at Cardiff. that would be the perfect way to do it. You want to give him that. I mean, you could have. You're going to give him the big moment that he should have had at WrestleMania 36 against Brock Lesnar, but Uncle COVID started running wild, and unfortunately, that fell on deaf ears because it was in the Performance Center with nobody except essential personnel. So the best possible way to give Drew that moment back, have him dethrone the Tribal Chief in front of his fellow compatriots and give him a British Bulldog SummerSlam 92 moment. So that's how I feel. So I'm going with Riddle to win it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. So with that, MF, let's put the bow on this thing.
All right. So that's it. We're done. So Sunday night, we're not going to do it tomorrow. Sunday night, 10 p.m., will be the recap for Money in the Bank. All right? So Sunday night, 10 p.m., Money in the Bank recap. And then from there, we're going to do it all over again. So there's really nothing more to add. So for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, we'll see you guys on Sunday. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now.